Yeah, some of them are pretty good, some of them are an absolute ass, and some of them are called Blade Barrage. That's right, children. Today, Mr. Taylor here is going to be teaching you all about Destiny 2 Hunter Supers. So if you're a hunter, take notes. If you're not a hunter, still take notes. Let's start off with our good friend's favorite subclass, shall we? Do you like being a badass gunslinging cowboy? Cool. Well, get ready to suck. Well, okay. Actually, the super ain't that bad in PvE. Let's check out the stats. For the normal golden gun, we will be going off this clip right here. Now that is 18,668 damage to the body and 172,319 to the head. Now, what does that all mean? Well, plugging it into our trusty TI-84, I get that a headshot damage is approximately 11 times the damage of a body shot. So, you know, if you're not hitting your heads with this, what the hell are you doing? Use Blade Barrage. Well, let's assume you hit all 3 headshots on the golden gun. How much damage does that equal? Well, plugging into our calculator, that will be 516,957 damage total if you hit all 3 headshots on the bottom tree sharpshooter golden gun. Now, using Mr. Timer Friend here, we calculated that it takes approximately 2 seconds to fire up all 3 shots from the bottom tree golden gun. Nice. Now, you might know a little exotic called the Celestia Nighthawk. What it does is it compacts your entire golden gun into one extremely deadly shot. Now, as we can see here, that shot does 542,803 damage. Now, that is an increase of 30,000 damage compared to the just normal golden gun 3 headshots. Is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. If you're ever using this, put on Celestia Nighthawk. Now, I've been saying a lot of things about bottom tree golden gun. How about top tree? Well, let's check it out. Now, top tree golden gun will give you 6 shots. Each one of these shots does 39,490 damage. Now, that gives us 236,940 damage. Not even close to anything we've seen so far. Literally, this is actual garbage. Okay, so the damage may be bad, but how long does it take to fire off all the shots? Well, it takes 1 second, as you can see, to fire off all 6 shots from top tree golden gun. Now, is this worth it? Not really. Because even just a rival Celestia Nighthawk or the golden gun bottom tree, you would have to land all those shots, and also you would have to have constant supers. Actually, 2 supers, to be specific, to do the same damage. So, yeah, don't use top tree golden gun. Also, just a quick fun visual detail. Have you realized that the top tree golden gun's gun model is the last word, while the bottom tree golden gun's gun model is the IS Luna, or Hawkmoon? I'm not really sure. You can tell me. Whew, alright, that wraps up for golden gun. Now let's talk about the next super on the list. Blade Barrage. It's good. But seriously though, do you really think I'm gonna count every single individual blade that comes out of this thing that spits a million of them? Yes, I am. So, after many hours of hard looking at numbers on a single digital screen, I figured out that there are in total 11 knives that come from a Blade Barrage. It's an odd number, but whatever. It's fine. Too lazy, alright? That's the number I'm coming up with. That's my final number. So, I managed to figure out that the initial hit of the blade does 22,780 damage, and then the explosion of the blade does 30,373 damage. And by the way, all the other little numbers, there are splash damage from the explosion. Yay. So, what does that mean? That means that if you land every single blade from the Blade Barrage on a single target, that will do in total 584,683 damage. That is by far the largest number we've seen so far. And that is an impressive number, and that beats out Celestia Nighthawk. This is why you should use Blade Barrage. Tether does not do much damage. Let's just get that out of the way. It will do 22,780 damage per tether shot arrow, and that is about equivalent to one single blade from a Blade Barrage's attachment, not even the explosion. So Tether doesn't do much damage. And by the way, also just in case you were wondering, Quiver shoots out 6 arrows, which, I mean, that's still not a lot of damage. It's not even equivalent to a single Blade Barrage worth of damage. Well, of course it's not, because we all know Blade Barrage is the best super in the game. So why would anyone use Tether? Well, of course, it would be to suppress and weaken enemies. The attachment of the suppression will do 70 damage, which isn't a lot, and honestly isn't going to kill anything other than like a Shadow Thrall. Once the enemy is tethered, they will be suppressed, slowed, and take 33% more damage from all elements. However, with there being things like Shattering Strike and Melting Point, that makes things 2 times more susceptible to damage, the 33% that Tether offers is nothing to a single target. But however, to a crowd of enemies, especially using the top tree arrow, which transfers damage upon all of the enemies once you shoot one of them, can do a lot with ad clearing, and also generating orbs. So this isn't your boss DPS weapon, but this is definitely a very good ad clear super. Unless you're the Redeem clan, of course, but honestly, how the hell did you do this? Holy shit!
Oh, whoa! These look so freaking cool. Oh my god, okay. I love this. I love how this looks, guys. Holy cow. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get these kills right here. I believe this lady is going for me. Hey, lady, you might need to walk away because, well, you just got killed.
Okay, let's just all admit it. Spectral Blades is a bomb-ass cool super. Have you ever wanted to be an assassin? Well, this is how it feels. Okay, the super might feel amazing, but how good is it at actually DPSing the crap out of enemies? Well, Spectral Blade has 2 attacks. The light attack does 1700 and 129 damage, and the heavy attack does 2566 damage. Now, the light attacks are just little quick cuts, while the heavy attack makes you do a backflip and puts you back to invisibility. And by the way, when you cast this thing, it makes you invisible, so if you want to see how long you can stay invisible just in the super without attacking and wasting energy, the answer is 25 seconds. So by spamming the light attack, this super lasts 10 seconds, doing 2 swipes per second, adding a total of 20 swipes. Now in total, by spamming light attacks, that will do 342,580 damage, which is not a lot. So, how about heavy attacks? Well, if you spam heavy attacks, the super will last a total of 9 seconds, 1 second shorter than light attacks, and it will get 8 heavy attacks off. This will in total get 200,528 damage off. Absolutely terrible. Worse than the 6-shot Golden Gun total damage, and only slightly better than the Quiver Tether. So for this, you should probably not be using the heavy attack to do damage, rather you should be using it to get invisible. So, Spectral Blades, it's a very cool super, but it's just not a very good super. Against a group of enemies, it can only hit 20 of them at the same time since it's a single target system. And against a single boss, well, there's just better things. Blade Barrage. However, just to remind you, we're only reviewing the super Spectral Blades, not the class The Way of the Wraith, which is, in my personal opinion, one of the best classes in Destiny due to Shattering Strike. Talking about supers that can both do a lot of ad clearing and a lot of boss damage, we move on to our next super.
Let's get down to business.
That's right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you are, we are finally approaching our last and final super. The Ark Staff from the Ark Strider subclass. Probably one of the better supers in the game. Even maybe rivaling Blade Barrage, which is obviously the best super in the game. Alright, so before we dive into the super, let's set some ground rules. I'm only going to be reviewing the basic Slappy Slapper attack, alright? Because basically, there's like a bajillion combos with the Ark Staff, and I do not have enough time to test every single combo, every single move's DPS individually, alright? So we're only going to be going off probably the most damaging attack, the light melee attack. And also, since all 3 subclasses of the Ark Strider have essentially the same super, I'm just going to be going off the Whirlwind Guard super. So with the Ark Strider comes a little old exotic known as the Raiden Flux, which basically makes the entire super do more damage and last longer. Now a normal old standing still Ark Strider will last for about 16 seconds. A Raiden Flux Ark Strider, on the other hand, will last about 28 seconds. That is an increase of 12 seconds. That is insane. That is an increased duration of 1.75 times. Now, a not damage buffed hit from an Ark Staff does 24,469 damage. Now, a fully Radiant Flux charged hit from an Ark Staff does 42,282 damage. Now, if I decide to spam the attack on a non-Radiant Flux Ark Staff, the entire staff will last about 7 seconds, and it will do about 2.5 attacks per second. This is a bit weird to calculate because Radiant Flux does attacks in groups of 3. So after some multiplications, I figured out that with Radiant Flux, your maximum potential swings per Ark Staff is 31 swings. That is pretty insane. Now, you know what's even more insane? The total damage this thing outputs. If everything works correctly, this should output 1,310,741 damage. The most insane number we have seen so far. And also, have I mentioned that the Radiant Flux actually does splash damage against enemies around? So not only is this thing a monster at clearing ads, it is also a monster at doing DPS. However, take all those numbers with a grain of salt, because the problem with the Ark Staff is that you need to be in melee range to do the damage. And most bosses and enemies have a slam attack that'll knock you a few million feet back. And with that attack, you'll take a long time to get back to do more DPS. And by then, your super's probably already up, and you haven't done nearly as much DPS as you could have done if you used the Blade Barrage. But still, this super is actually amazing at clearing ads. And if you can do DPS to a boss who doesn't stomp you, which I can't really think about one, this is by far the best super. So guys, that will conclude today's video, and if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, and if you want more of these type of videos, please also subscribe to my channel to see more. And yeah, this video took a long time, so I really appreciate it if you just leave me some support. And yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.